Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I wasn't gonna record today. To be completely honest with you, I'm not in high spirits, but then I figured that this is exactly why I do need to record, because I don't want to be a producer that only gives out all the positives and all the good stuff, because I think that that's just not authentic. I really want to shed light on the raw, honest truths out there. And this time I'm going to be covering things regarding social interactions, dating, and things surrounding that while being transgender in my experience. So if that sounds like something you want to know more about, you got the rest of this video. So let's go. Before I begin, of course, I have to give a shout out to Deidre and Alex F, my newest patron. Thank you guys for the contribution, and thank you, Deidre, for this suggestion. I think that this is an awesome way to contribute to this channel. The whole social thing hasn't been brought up before because dating and social interactions were on such a big pause because of social distancing, and now I feel like I can give a more informed input on what's going on with the world. So thanks again, and guys, I hope that you enjoy this. So normally I'm a very modest person, but I'm just gonna put that to the side for now, just for the sake of effective communication. I'm approached a lot now. Like when I go to a bar now, it's just constant men asking to buy me a drink, and it's just been a lot of attention. At first, it was new, kind of exciting. Okay, cool. But it got old really fast. Like, I feel like I kind of pick people's brains. I entertain it a lot more than I want to, just because I like to figure out what people are thinking. I'm a very scientific thinker, and I'm like, does this person know I'm transgender? Does this person, is this person genuinely interested? Are they only looking for hookups? Like, is this a dating prospect, or is this somebody who's just gonna be a little sleazy? I'm just doing a lot of information gathering, so I indulge it a little bit more than I'm comfortable with. But it's just part of the journey. I think that an important part of transitioning is understanding how the world works around you. And so that's been my experience lately, just entertaining people who want to buy me a drink. And I feel like that's a very self-effacing thing to say, simply because it's just kind of like, oh, you need people's validation, this and that. It's like, no, that's not what it is. That's definitely not what it is. I really just want to figure out what's going on. And so it's been very, very interesting for me, just because I've never been used to this. It's completely new to me. And I would consider myself demisexual or sapiosexual. So when I'm meeting somebody new, I never like to get sexual right away like that, because in order for me to actually pursue that or invite that, there has to be a deep emotional connection or a deep intellectual connection. And so I have not been one to participate in hookups. If you have my experiences, and if you're taking hormones and you're transgender, and you like hooking up, this is going to be awesome for you. But it hasn't been very awesome for me. I've been feeling kind of objectified, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't go home with anybody. I don't, entertain anything sexually. It's just completely getting to know the world around me. So on that note, whenever there is a new interaction, I approach it organically. I, talk as though, I'm just another person, because I am, So I don't lead by saying I'm transgender. I kind of, talk about whatever interests they have, whatever interests I have, normal stuff. And then eventually I'll bring it up just to kind of see a reaction. And to my surprise, they are usually I want to say 80% of the time, oh, I had no idea you're transgender. And I've never been met with resistance. They are always super intrigued by that. And if anything, I will say that their interest seems to grow. And I think that I know I'm right about this. Straight men, most of them that I've met have a huge repressed fantasy about transgender women. And they have, a lot of them have this fragile masculinity to where, they would never actually date you, but they have to try it at least once. So that's what I mean by being objectified. Like, it feels like people are trying to get my attention for hookups. That's been a huge thing, and obviously that doesn't work for me. And like, actually very frustrating to know that I'm more so like a bucket list item or an object of fantasy rather than, you know, trying to get to know me or feeling romantic towards me. That's just not happening. And when it does happen, I do have like a lot more luck when somebody is like bisexual or pansexual. They're in touch with their sexuality, they give it a name, you know, like, I don't know. I'm not saying that labels are a good thing, but I think that it's really indicative of how comfortable and confident you are about your sexuality. So that's typically been the greatest success for me, is bisexual people and pansexual people. Typically, these social interactions are happening, you know, with nightlife. I'm at a bar and I'm with friends, and typically we kind of like do our own things. We just go around. It's like a huge community type of deal at the bars that we go to. Obviously, they've been noticing the super crazy amount of attention that I have been getting. And so that has been a cause for concern. And it can be misconstrued. I definitely took it the wrong way sometimes when every time there's somebody who's having a conversation with me, I'd be asked, do they know you're transgender? Do they know you're transgender? Do they know you're transgender? And it kind of sucks because it feels like they're trying to imply that I have a moral obligation to shout on, like, from the rooftops my business like that. And it is a cause for concern, and it is important to be giving that disclosure if you're going to pursue someone in a sexual way, if you ask me. But I don't go home with anyone. So it becomes this thing where it feels kind of condescending to be asked that, even though it's coming from a place of care. So I think that the important thing to remember is that, you know, you have friends that are looking out for you, but, you know, you may get frustrated with being asked that question. Sometimes when a friend asks, do they know you're transgender? Do they know you're transgender? It begins to feel also like they're asking, like, because, oh, it's so unbelievable that you're getting this amount of attention as a transgender woman. I don't know if that's right, I don't know if that's wrong, but that's what it feels like to me. And it's been a struggle for me to understand if this care is coming from a condescending place or if it's coming from a true and authentic place. But it's challenging just because they don't have enough faith in me and they want to protect me like I'm fragile, or like that I'm just not capable of doing things on my own and I'm making a mistake and I'm putting myself in danger. It's just really frustrating. So that's why I feel like this is a little bit more of a heavy subject, and it's just not very comfortable for me to talk about, but I'm sure that this is a very relatable thing. And I just want you to know, if you're going through this, like, I feel you. It's really difficult. The topic of friends, you know, you're gonna have friends from before you transitioned, and it doesn't mean they're transphobic, but anytime you've changed, you may fall out of a comfort zone with people. Like, they were friends with the old you and now they are adjusting so much with this new you. And so I've been confronted in a way where it's like, you've changed. And it's said in this like negative way. And I'm kind of like, I don't understand why I need to be feeling bad about that, because it's rather the point. You know, I'm going through these changes because I want to change, you know? So I don't think certain people understand just how much is on the line when you're transitioning. Your physiology, your psychology, your emotions, your name, your clothing, like everything about you is like changing. And so there are people who are resistant to change, and it doesn't mean they're transphobic. I hate assuming that people are transphobic over any little thing. I think that that's like actually a very toxic mindset to have. It's just how people are. They like their comfort zones. And so somewhere along the way, you know, there's a very real possibility that you could be losing friends. You could easily lose friends because you're changing. And, you know, you got to take some solace in that, because it's what you want. You want to change, and not everyone's going to want to change with you. So that's just a hard pill to swallow, but an important pill to swallow. And if this topic is such a downer, I'm so sorry about that, but I did not start this channel for the sake of like entertainment or me having to perform for everyone all the time, or for fame or anything like that. Like, I wanted to come in here and actually be just like a true, authentic, this is how I feel, this is what I'm getting type of source. And so naturally, not everything is going to be super happy and super fun all the time. And you know, that's just the type of month I'm having right now. So that was the social side of things. I want to move into the physical side of things because I feel like that's very important. For this month, honestly, I haven't really noticed any significant differences. My breast grew a little bit. One of the main things that I'm doing is I'm eating a lot of nuts, like peanuts, almonds, pecans, like you name it, all of those, because nuts are a very good source of monounsaturated fats, and that's going to be a primary building block for breast tissue. So that's kind of been my secret. I don't know if that's like, you know, a make it or break it deal. I've just been having nuts since I started. So I don't know, like I can't compare it to like a month where I wasn't eating nuts. Why does that feel so gross to say that? Like nut products. I don't think that's better. Okay, sorry. Let me just move on. My waist got a little bit smaller, but I think that's just because I've been working out my core a little bit more. And I guess I'll just also do like a twirl just so that you can see how my body has developed. So here we go. Oh my, I didn't see you there. I just feel awkward when I have to do that just because it's just so like, I don't know, but I hope that's helpful. I know that that's a big part of it. You know, physical changes are very important. And yeah, I think that that's all I have for physical changes. I guess, I think this could count, but like I bruise so easily now. I feel like I try to handle things the same way I used to pre-hormones. And so being physically weaker is one thing, but also like if something were to hit me, it's gonna be a bruise, like guaranteed. So that's been like a little frustrating. And you know, I've been asked like more than once if I've been like abused or something, and that's just not the case. I'm just like really rough with my body. So that's another adjustment I have to have. Like, you know, I have to like kind of take it easy and, you know, just not injure myself. Like I feel like I was such a solid person before hormones, and I feel like now my body is just kind of like, she wants to bruise. What can I say? Just like before, my hormones are doing great. My sex drive is still extremely high from the progesterone, and the bicalutamide isn't giving me any type of like side effects whatsoever. The estrogen is great. I mean, that's just kind of like the foundation of it all. And I couldn't be happier as far as physical changes go. Psychological changes, I feel like it's hard to identify if the psychological changes are due to the hormones themselves or if it's growth and discovery from new experiences. So I can't give you a very clear answer, but in general, psychologically, I feel a lot more wise. I feel like I understand things better. I'm just more confident. And I think that that's just kind of the best place to be right now. I'm very happy with how I am psychologically. And I don't have any depression, you know. I've been a little bit depressed because of recent events, but that's not, you know, a word to use lightly. And besides that, I think that's everything. Having to do this on a monthly basis is tricky because I can't tell if I'm going to be going through a good time or a bad time. I have made a commitment to doing this once a month, and I wasn't going to flake because I felt a little bad, you know? I want to be reliable, and I want to, I've been having an overwhelming amount of support from you guys, and I just don't want to let you down. I want to be completely clear and honest about everything that's happening. And sometimes it's a little hard to kind of be vulnerable like that and just talk about my life so intimately, just like that. But so far, I feel so supported with this community that I have, and I want to thank you guys so much for being so sweet all the time. And if you enjoyed what you saw today, like, comment, subscribe, got a Patreon, contribute if you want to, and that's all. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for me, and I hope you have a lovely day.